Charlemagne the God knows New York. His morning show, The Breakfast Club, is a cultural institution in this city. And he's watching closely as a self-proclaimed socialist, Zohran Mamdani, gets within reach of Gracie Mansion. But here's the question. When did the rent is too high become a Trojan horse for radicalism? When did progressive slogans start replacing actual solutions? As Mamdani gains traction and the Democratic Party scrambles to find its soul, even Charlemagne is asking whether the language they're using is helping anyone or just driving voters away. Here's more of our exclusive sit-down. Well, let me ask you about that, because it seems like the new face of the party is a guy who just won the Democrat primary here in New York City, Zohran Mamdani.
You think he's the face of the party?
Well, he seems to be the one who is out front. You have Mamdani, you have AOC, but who is really the leader of the Democrat Party? But
I don't think they have one.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So is this the person who they should be championing? And is this the right leadership for New York City, do you think, someone like
I don't think it's about individuals. I think it's about ideas. And I think, what he's presenting as far as just simply talking about affordability. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. When you hear somebody go out there and say, hey, look, the groceries are too damn high in New York City. The rent is too damn high in New York City. New York City is not affordable. Anybody who goes out anywhere in this country and has that message is going to be effective. That's what President Trump did. President Trump did the same exact thing. He went out there and he said it himself. I won this election because of one word: groceries. Because people are out here hurting. People are out here starving.
Well, but the real question is, will socialism be the way?
I don't like the word socialism.
But he says that's what he's for,
I know,
right?
and if you watch him on Breakfast Club, I told him, I said, Democrats, y'all come up with, all type of language for all types of other stupid stuff, right? Like pregnant people and, whatever it is. Like
birthing people.
Yeah, all of that.
They need a new term then.
You
don't like
need a new term for
socialism.
socialism. But I think affordability is actually the right term. When you're speaking to people's pockets, people will always hear you. Because that is something, I don't care if you're black, white, gay, straight, regardless of what your party is, your religion is. If you are a person who is, we want two things in America. We want more money in our pocket, and we want to feel safe. Mm-hmm. If you can speak to that, you will always connect with people.
Well, it's funny you bring up feeling safe, because he also has said things like that he wants to potentially replace some of our NYPD officers with social workers. Listen to this soundbite, though, from him, because he sort of flip-flops. 2021, he says one thing about the police. Take a listen to this.
When we talk about defund the NYPD, the entirety of the push is defund the NYPD and refund all of these different social services and things that actually create safety.
I am not defunding the police. I am not running to defund the police.
All right, well, obviously, Charlemagne, he says he's not into defunding the police, but you heard from him not long ago there. I think the question a lot of people here in New York have is, how do we make our streets safer when you've already seen a lot of money taken away from the NYPD, right? Mm-hmm. You've seen their budget pared back because you had a huge budget for the illegal immigrants here in the city. You've seen that you've had a lot of people retiring. Does that make you feel good as someone who works here in New York City?
Well, he said it right there, and that's another slogan that they need to get rid of, right? Defund the police. But he said it, refund social services. Like, whenever people have these conversations about defunding the police, what they're talking about is just take some of those hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars that are being put into the police departments and put them into things that can actually make our community safer. Like, when he was on Breakfast Club and he talked about pairing, mental health professionals with police officers, because that's what you need sometimes. Like, if I'm a police officer, I'm not equipped to go out there and deal with somebody who's having a mental health crisis. And then, because I fear for my life, this person might attack me, I shoot them, I kill them. Now it's a big controversy, when the reality is pair them with people who actually do that work, so you can prevent, some of those type of things. And also, man, put money in those communities to give these kids something to do. Like, these kids are going to resort, to crime and other things if they don't have, community centers, if they don't have access to trade school, if they don't have, food in their stomach. Like, I completely understand him when he says, refund social services. That's the thing that we need to hear.
Yeah, and I by the way, think a lot of people agree with that, but not at the deficit to our police force. I think you probably can do both.
I want police officers to make more money. Like, if these police departments are getting billions and billions of dollars, it's not even going into the police officers' pockets most of the time. So where is it going? So if you're spending all this money on the police departments and you're militarizing the police, what are you doing that for? Maybe if you put more money in the police officers' pockets, maybe some of them will be happy. Another conversation that we've been having is like, we talk about pairing police officers with mental health professionals. What about police officers' mental health? Police officers are human too. They're dealing with all types of issues. Sometimes they have to go out and go into these communities, and they might be projecting the pain and the hurt that they're feeling onto other people, abusing their power. So, I think that there is a way to, please all parties in that situation, but we got to start talking about what the root causes of these problems are. I think we get too caught up in slogans, and we end up, arguing about things and nothing ever gets solved.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.